Hello and welcome to my channel. I am so excited to be doing this again. So back in the day, I used to drop like videos where I analyze charts and, just talk about charts generally, right? But I stopped because, life happened. And last week or 2 weeks ago, someone reached out to me and was like, Zazie, I think you need to continue whatever you had going on back then, right? So, and I thought to myself, yes, why not? Because I spend a lot of time on the charts, to be honest. And sometimes I'm talking to myself and it's like I'm telling myself this is what you need to do. I mean, it's interesting. I enjoy all of those things, but I also feel like it won't be a bad idea to also share it with you, right? So, I have 4 currency pairs that I have been looking at for the longest time. So on my watch list are like 6 or 7 things I'm looking at. I'm just generally looking at Bitcoin to know, where it's headed, even though I already have an idea of where it's headed, but I just like to keep it there. So every time I'm on my trading view, I see the current price, right? And then I have the US30, and then I have the dollar index just so I could, analyze, with the US30. And then my main currency pairs are these for now. So, from time to time, I pick out currency pairs I want to focus on for various reasons, and then I choose to focus on these pairs for a period of time. So I have been on EURUSD, USDJPY, gold, and USDCHF for about 2 months now. Been looking at them, and I've been trying to constantly trade them. And this is what I've seen in the market so far. So, firstly, looking at USDJPY from the 1 hour time frame, there was a time I missed a trade, but I saw the move, right? I saw the move, I already drew it out and everything, but I sure as hell missed the trade, right? So looking at it from the 1 hour time frame, just a minute, let me just check out real quick. Okay, right here. From the 1 hour time frame, I sort of highlight these areas, creating for me a channel of movements, which eventually, forms a chart pattern, and I'm good with that, right? And then these are moves that I would have seen, or these are moves that I saw but I didn't take because I skipped it, and it's yielded crazy profits. And you'd see moves like this a lot of times in the charts. They are like repeated moves, they always pop. Different time frames, different times, you just see them, the pop. And when you have these moves, it's great to just take note of it, because the next time it happens like this, you know exactly what to do. So I saw this on, let me just make my screen full screen. Yes, nice one. All right, so I saw this on the USDJPY 1 hour time frame. So this is definitely giving us a bearish flag formation. It's definitely a bearish continuation pattern, right? Where price has been moving from the upside all the way here. Price gave us this channel of movements, and so we could connect it with our trend line, right? For me, for me to take a trade like this, when I have my zones plotted out, I just wait for the breakout. So when the breakout happens, I take my trade, set my stop loss within reasonable distance, and then let the market move. How to calculate your take profits, super easy. This is the length of the flagpole. So just do this. Clone this same length from the area of breakouts, the very first breakout. And you notice that if you are taking a trade based on just this, you would have made crazy profits. So this is what I was thinking for the risk to reward. So we could probably have our stop around there, and here is our target. And you can see that based on this very simple flag formation, we would have made a lot of money. Alright, so let's quickly calculate. Let's just see real quick how many pips you would be risking and how many would gain. Real quick, say if we are taking the trade based on that breakout, we'll be risking 74 pips, about 74 pips for 192, which I think is great. So this was simply based on just the pattern, right? The pattern, the strong breakout that confirmed the move, and then the trade. And obviously, price broke out even after it gave us this our take profit, right? So there was still a very amazing sell, but yeah, we would have been out of the market and just watched price move, or probably, you know, figured out another way to go about the sell if we still wanted to push through with that. Right now, looking at this market, I'll just quickly take this off and make my screen full screen. Right. So looking at this market now, I see other interesting things. First of all, if I put my cursor, my line right here, this served as a very interesting support zone, right? And we can see that price visited this area and gave us a reversal candlestick with this shooting star right here, and then a bearish candlestick to serve as confirmation. So my yellow candles are obviously bearish, and then the blue ones are bullish candles, right? So you see price confirming that move for us right at the broken support that ended up turning, you know, resistance. The first time the price broke this area and tested it was right here. It did its test with this week, right? And it tested it, so it confirmed that your support has been broken and price is going to keep moving all the way down. And that was exactly what happened. If I had paid more attention to this chart, I would have known that as much as this is a good, you know, take profits, based on the fact that price just respected this area as a new area of resistance, we would be expecting a very large drop. But notwithstanding, I mean, it's still, oh my God, I love the way market is moving, right? Can you see that drop? Like, can you really see that drop right now? Okay. So, I'm highlighting some other interesting zones in this chart. Here, this area was also a very key area. As a matter of fact, I think this area sort of helped me realize better what was happening in another currency pair, EURUSD, which I'll talk about after this one, right? But this chart was very interesting. We had a double bottom here. Just a minute. We had a double bottom in this area right here, right? So I'll just clone this here. And then this was obviously the neckline it broke out of. The first retest happened here, so it would have been a very good point to buy with the stop loss just right below this, what you call this candlestick, gravestone doji, just right below, right here. Stop loss would have been here and price would have just bought. And it was a sweet buy actually, right? And then retest happened again for the second time. The price went all the way, came again, but it did not break this area. So even if you had left your buy for a long time, just so price can respect the next significant zone, which was here, this area that broke as a support zone to now, you know, turn to a resistance. So just so you can take profit from this double bottom pattern that has been formed, maximize your profits, take it to the fullest, right? And that's exactly what have happened here. So you'd have found yourself risking very little. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, you'd have found yourself risking very little, so taking a trade from here, sorry, long position, right? So the stop loss right here and take profit at the very next significant zone. Very interesting risk to reward. Let's see what it looks like in pips. So you're probably risking like 31 pips to make about 310 pips. How crazy is that, right? And if you pay attention closely, I didn't really do so much. So I don't like to spend so much time deliberating what happens in the charts. The moment I see very clear moves and opportunity, I just take them. Well, still on this chart, I can see a very interesting zone here again, and there's a very high chance that price would test this zone and then go all the way to the top. These are things that could likely happen, right? There's also a possibility that price will break out of this zone. So looking at this chart, I'll just be waiting, right? I'm waiting for price to actually, I don't dispute the fact that there is something here as well, but you know, it's still somewhat close to my zone. So ultimately, because I want to buy, I expect price to come as low as possible so I can have a good buying price, right? So I expect it to actually come into my zone that I have just highlighted. Now, when price comes to this zone and I see a very strong move for reversal to the upside or to the bullish side, I could take a trade with my stop loss right below this zone and just watch market move, right? But if price visits that zone and there's no confirmation, or I don't see any good reason to actually take that buy, I'll wait, right? Chances are it might even break the zone, and once it breaks the zone, that's a totally different story entirely. I also do not doubt the fact that I can highlight a trend here. So trends are very easy to spot. You know, these trends end up forming patterns for us. So when you see a valid trend and you take it, you draw it, just, you know, ride with it and all of that. Let me see if there's something here. Okay. Now, looking at this, now it's almost like spending this time analyzing this chart is giving me more ideas and more thoughts as to what is going on. Now, imagine a scenario where price has obviously broken out of this trend, this downtrend to the upside, and it is giving us a retest because price tested broken supports to form resistance and all of that. Now, what if price actually does this retest? Maybe it doesn't even come all the way down to my, you know, my zone right here. What if it actually comes all the way down to my zone, right? What if price gives me, I'm trying to draw this thing. What if price gives me, you know, a third touch on my trend line and then goes all the way out again? I mean, how about that? That would make sense, right? But, you know, the market is full of possibilities. There are a lot of things that could probably happen in the market that we might not, or just expect different things to happen based on, you know, the market movement. So there are a lot of things that could probably happen in this chart. Price might reverse from zones we don't expect it to reverse from. Price might actually reverse from our intended zones, and it will give us more reason and more confidence to take that trade, right? So right now, I'm just going to watch this chart. I mean, it's on my watch list, so I have to watch it, right? So I'll watch this chart and see how things play out. I know where to expect confirmations from in this chart, so I'll just look at it and see how the market is going so far. So when I get a good move, when I get good confirmation that it's time for me to go for a buy, then I will take a buy. Because right now, clear trends have been broken and there are possibilities, high probabilities that price should, you know, go bullish right now. But anything is possible in the market, you know, anything at all. So let's quickly check out EURUSD. So EURUSD and USDJPY are negatively correlated pairs, right? So, you know, when USDJPY is buying, in most cases, EURUSD is selling, so they are moving on like opposite directions right now. So you see this very strong bullish candle in the H4. If you go to the USDJPY, let's see if we have the same thing. So you see in the H4, currently it's a strong bearish candle, right? So they're like, but of course, if you study the charts more, you would see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so let's quickly go into EURUSD. What am I seeing on this chart? I sent a buy, was it last week? Yeah, last week on my channel, and it hit my take profits, and it was a very interesting buy actually. Okay. So let's get right to it. Let me see. I need to be sure of the time frame that I actually made that move from. So it was, I think it was based on the H4 time frame. Let's see. All right. Okay. So this was a very clear resistance area, right? And I think I remember this move. Let me just quickly check my channel to see what point I took the buy. So buy EURUSD at 1.07261. So this signal was sent on the 9th of January. This was 9 days ago. And I know I held this trade for a couple of days before it hits take profit because price kept on consolidating. Okay, so this was my entry point. And my stop loss was here at 1.06573. Oh my god, what happened? 1.06573. Great. So I had this as my entry point, and then I had this area as my stop loss. So I'll just widen my screen now so you can see what's going on. Okay. So this was a very simple trade, very simple analysis. First of all, I'd like to mention that the H4 time frame is my personal favorite, right? It gives me very clear moves. It helps me stay long enough, as long as I need to stay on the chart to maximize profits and to allow enough time to let the market breathe before, you know, my trade eventually gives up if it hits stop loss and all of that. Yes. I'll make more videos to show you how effective or how amazing the H4 time frame can be, right? And moves that I have made with the H4 time frame. All right. So we have this resistance zone here. So I know that I had this resistance zone drawn for the longest. And then another thing I had was I brought out my trend line tool and I just drew this because as much as this served as a very interesting resistance, I didn't ignore the fact that this is a lower high, right? So there was something here and then there's something here. So the lower high confirms to us that, okay, price should be giving us a new downtrend or something like that. But price, I was expecting price to break out of this lower high, especially because I also highlighted what looked like a double bottom in this area. Right, so we had this double bottom right here. So everything was pretty like clear. I didn't really need to do much. I already saw that price was making headways to the top. And the moment price broke out of this trend line, it was a solid breakout. You can clearly see the bullish candle here. It closed just right outside the trend line. Yes, around the resistance area, but outside the trend line. So what I did was I waited to see, okay, yes, price has broken out of this trend line. It makes a lot of sense now. It's confirmed something for me, but I need extra confirmation because it's still within a zone where possible reversal could happen, right? So I needed to see price break out of this resistance, you know, with a strong move, so I have more confidence that that would happen. So the moment I saw this other bullish candle, it gave me extra confirmation to actually just take, you know, hop on the trade and send out the signal. So when this happened, price started consolidating around this area. I saw that it was like a little, all of this consolidation brought about some tiny retests, couple of retests around this zone, right? So I took the buy with my stop loss right here, just below below this zone right here, just right below this demand here. And then in my head, I'm like, if there's ever going to be a reversal, I'll probably just reverse the test this zone or test this trend line, because the retest did not actually happen on this trend line, and then price go all the way up. But whatever the case, I did not want to miss it because I saw it as a good opportunity and I just wanted to take it. So I took the trade, price hit TP. I set my risk to reward 1 to 2, right? So say I was risking about how many pips? So I was risking about 67 pips. I was making double of that. Let me see where I set my take profits. I'm just going to set the coordinates. TP was 1.08437. Yeah, this is where I set my take profit. So I was risking, you know, 1 for 2 literally, and price hit TP, and since then I have not sent any other signal on EURUSD because I needed some more time to see where the market is headed. But right now I can see, you know, clear zone. So I'll just put this as a clear zone that I see. This is a clear area of resistance. 3 times price has visited this area and there's been a rejection, right? So although I expect price to still break this and just go all the way, but you know, anything is possible in the market. So I'm chilling to see what is actually going to happen. I want to know if price will okay, I don't ignore this zone as well. In fact, this entire area is not to be ignored, to be very honest. I don't ignore this at all, right? So I see price coming all the way here to retest or do whatever, but is it going to break out of this newly formed resistance? That's what I don't know. But if that happens, it might be more confirmation to just keep going all the way to the top. So that's that about EURUSD. I'm still looking at it. I still have it on my watch list, and once I get good confirmation, I'm going all the way for that trade. I'll also send out the signal. Right, so let's check out XAUUSD gold. I love gold so much. I already had I think this was based on my previous analysis. I remember what happened right here. And let's just take it out and let's explain it all over again. Right. So on gold, gold gave me interesting moves. I'm not gonna lie. I saw very, very interesting moves on gold. So what I'm just going to do first is to highlight my entry points on the signal I sent on the 12th of January. Today's date is what? Today's 18. So that was about 6 days ago. So my entry point for gold was, I said buy gold at 1900.87. Okay. Which is right here. Nice. And my stop loss was, I think I'm just going to make this stop loss red so it's clear. Alright. My stop loss was 1868.821. This was my stop loss. Wide, right? My take profit is still up ahead. Okay. Price has not hit my take profit yet, but it got to a very significant point where people took profits, and you know, I'm still holding some part of the trade, and I'm expecting that price gets to where I need it to be. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to explain to you my entry and how I was able to make that much profit in gold. So, first of all, in this H1 time frame, let me go to M30 to see if there was something there. I'm trying to remember. No. Okay, H1 was the time frame that I based my analysis on. So, in this H1 time frame, all I simply did was highlight this area of consolidation. So, from higher time frames, I already saw moves where, or reasons why price should go all the way up. But for gold, I came all the way to the 1 hour time frame because I needed something quick and easy that also aligned with what my higher time frame said. But speaking of higher time frames, so let me just see what's on the daily. Okay. Price has been going up for the longest, right? It keeps breaking boundaries, but there is a zone here, a very significant zone here that I expect reversals from. In fact, I'm just going to draw this right here because this is a solid supply zone where significant changes can occur. I'll leave that here, story for another day. So let's talk about H1 and what we had going on. So after this consolidation, what I knew for sure was that price needed to break. I needed price to break because there's an area of concentration right here. There are areas of concentration also right here at the bottom. So all of that up and down movement in this channel, I just needed price to break. There was a particular news, I'm not sure what news that was, but there was a news responsible for this move all the way to the downside. And when I set my trade, this candlestick had already popped, like this candlestick right here. So I did not trade during the news, but I traded after the news. So while the news popped, price came all the way down. Okay, in my head I'm like, it hasn't broken this zone yet, so don't panic, don't make any move, just wait to see how price turns out. And then this happened and price went all the way up, you know, and the candlestick closed right above this zone. So it gave me a confirmation to actually go for the buy. I sent my buy signal when this candlestick closed, and then funny enough, when I sent that buy, there was a very huge drawdown, but of course this was my original stop loss. There was no way I was going to give up until price eventually hits my stop loss, right? So price came all the way down. This was just a very quick retest, and then from that point on, price started to buy all the way up. Right, so this was interesting. This was very, very interesting. I loved this trade so much. It's gold. You know that if you get gold right, you're financially happy. Right. So yeah, so that was a simple thing I did with gold. These charts are just really easy to understand. I don't use indicators. I've not ever used any indicator. Sorry, I have a call. I've never used any indicator before. No, not before. Sorry, this call just distracted me. I've used indicators when I started trading, but I eventually learned that indicators don't do you any good as much as, you know, price action does. So I use pure price action to trade. USDCHF, I think, is the last that I'll be checking right now. So USDCHF and gold, I think they are also negatively correlated. So that's the reason why I like to look at these pairs, you know, based on your correlation sometimes. So when I know that I'm buying gold, I'm probably selling USDCHF as well. So let's check out what we have here. I haven't really spent so much time on this chart, this particular chart, to be honest. I don't really, it's just there because of the connection it has with gold, but it's nothing so special. But looking at it right now on the H4 time frame, I just see, like, you know, some pretty interesting moves, I guess. Simple moves, not too shouty, right? So in my opinion, based on the H4 time frame and this entire pattern that has been formed, and then if we're going to go further into details, maybe zones that have been broken, right? So I can see that this zone, this area, this former area of supports is about to break. And then if we're talking based on recent area of support now, we could even move it all the way to here, right? Be like, okay, this is the recent area of support now. Let's see if price will break. So we have like an hour, 14 minutes for this candlestick to be done forming. But originally, if I would have taken this trade based on this entire symmetrical triangle pattern, or this pattern that has been formed, I would like to take the trade, or I would have taken the trade with the breakout of this particular candle here. So in fact, the first breakout happened with this candlestick right here, giving us a gravestone dodgy kind of pattern. It happened here, and then after this candlestick formed, there was confirmation from the next candlestick after it, because this candlestick formed completely outside of this trend line, broke the trend line, formed completely outside it. Yes, there was a retest here based on this candlestick, serving now as is serving the role, is playing the role of a shooting star in this case, because price came all the way here, gave us this rejection, and now this bearish candlestick forming at the moment that has about an hour 13 minutes to get formed is looking like it will serve as a confirmation for this retest, candle, and give us more clear move to sell. And since gold and USDCHF are negatively correlated, if USDCHF is selling, it means that we can see, or we know, that gold should also be buying, right? So these are things that you can also, you know, make your personal research, please. Make your personal research, try and see how this market work, right? This is what I have studied over time, and this is what I have noticed that has been happening in the market, and I've been using it in my trades, and it's been working, right? But you might also want to just look at these things for yourself, so it's not like, oh, Zazie said it, so it has to be that, you know. Just spend your own time studying the charts, and yeah, that's it. So these are the four currency pairs that I have analyzed. I think it was a great time for me myself. Let me know what you think about these pairs. You might want to drop out your comments in the comment sections. Are you also looking at any of these pairs? What do you also see? What are you anticipating? What do you expect to happen in this market? Definitely, when I get confirmation and clear moves, I'll send it on the signal channel. If you hit on the description, you'll see the link to my free signal channel and also the Discord. It's a small community of traders that I'm growing to become a big one, and you know, places where we get to share ideas and talk more about the market, right? And free signal, where I send you free signals, and you can use it to trade synthetic indices, forex signals, and yeah, not much of crypto signals on the channel. Sometimes I just drop a few hints about crypto, but I'm not particularly focused on sending crypto signals. My focus is forex and indices, right? Synthetic indices, or you know, US 30 and Nasdaq kind of indices, right? So thank you so much for watching. Do well to turn on the notification, right? That's what they call it, right? Notification. So when I drop another video, you'll be the first to get notified. Subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, let other people get to see it as well, and yeah, just generally drop your feedback. See you some other time.